Hi, welcome to the TBC podcast. We're going to be having these every Monday and Friday for as long as we're living in this rhythm of life. I've got to be honest with you, I don't really listen to podcasts and I've never done one myself before. So any helpful hints you've got, please feel free to email them to me. My intention over these first few podcasts is to give us some helpful tips on how to continue to grow in our faith with God and as a community together of believers in Jesus. I've not got all the answers, far from it. So if you've got any ideas, please feel free to email them to me at neil.durling@tonbridgebaptist.church, and I will feed those in where relevant in the weeks moving forward. I'm more of a book person than a podcast person, and this is a book that I'm enjoying at the moment. It's called Easter Stories, and it's lots of short stories by various writers. The beauty of this book for me is that most of these stories you can read with your young children. They're almost parables. There are a few for just adults by people like John Updike, for example, but there is such a variety of readers in here, and you can read each of these stories in 15 or 20 minutes. Maybe a good thing to add to your spiritual exercises over the Easter period. Maybe you love poetry. Dave Hitchcock can't get enough of poetry, can he? And don't get me started on Esther Hardman. She loves poems in French, Spanish, and English. I'm not much of a poetry person, but I get that some people are. Why not log on to this Poetry Foundation page that gives you a poem every day that you can add into your journey with God? Some of you think, oh, this is a bit spiritual, but it's just normal. It's called centering. You pick a word and you focus on that word for the day. Let's say you're feeling really anxious, and we all are to a degree, aren't we? Why not pick a word like hope or peace and write it down, put it somewhere. You might write it on loads of post-it notes and put it all over your house, or you might just carry it around with you in your pocket. Why not do that? And then when you're feeling anxious, just focus on it. When you breathe in, say the word, hope. And then breathe out. And when you breathe in again, say hope. And breathe out. It just slows us down. But it may be a word that has been special to you since the time you became a follower of Jesus. Why not try that? Let me know how you find it. And then there's this one, read Mark's Gospel in one sitting. So get your cup of coffee or tea, get your fruit or your biscuit, go in a room where you're not going to be disturbed, turn your phone off, turn your tablet off, and read Mark's Gospel. You can do it as an average speed reader in about an hour and a half, the time most shark films are. So rather than watching Sharknado or Jaws or one of those films, why not read the Gospel? And don't read it for a deep study. Read it as a story of the Jesus who saves us. And then at the end, think, what really jumped out at me? Another way you could read it is you could read it and think, who am I in this story? Am I one of the disciples, one of the religious leaders, one of the crowd? Maybe I'm a specific person in the story. And then I picture myself following Jesus through the rest of Mark's Gospel. How would I react to what is going on? They're all quite personal, and here's one final idea that you may find helpful for you to bless others in your local neighbourhood. When my dad died last Easter, Jo bought a tree for her birthday, which was a few weeks later, and we planted it in the front garden, and she said we call it the Hodger tree, because my mum always called my dad Roger, Hodger. And last week we put on Facebook, we would like to pray for you for hope and peace in your life. So please like this picture of the tree or write your name down, and we will get a little card and we'll put some sellotape around it so it's waterproof with your name on it, and we'll hang it on the tree. We'll keep a list of all your names and we will pray for you. Not because we're more spiritual than you, but it's just something that we believe in and something that we can do. A few days later, today, we've got over 200 people that want to be prayed for. They're not all churchgoers. Some of them, I think, are not Christians yet, but they're reaching out to God at this time. What could you do that lets people know that you're praying for them. Thank you. See you next time.